get ready to help children in Ivory Coast. Help them have a school, help them get the opportunity. Who knows, those children will be the children that help all of us in the future. So if you can help, let's do that. Let's not make it just for this night. As Saku said, we're gonna get with Doso. He's been fighting very, very hard, not just today, not last week, but for years and years, and they've helped so many people in the city of Newark and the surrounding areas. So let's just look at this as a kickoff for what we're going to do to make sure the school that he started, and he's built other schools, but the school that he started is not completed. Let's make sure, even if we don't raise $1 million tonight, or even thousands, let's make sure that we follow this and help him to do good for others, not for himself. He went to school, and like Saku said, he went through the same thing a lot of people went through, you know, struggling and all that. And he's successful. He could just go on and enjoy himself. But not only he hasn't forgotten, he remembers that what you do good, the good that you do, God will bless you. So let's eat, listen to good music, and let's go forward. Thank you.
Twin brother. We are the Bausi singers, that means in French, Levée, in English, angels. So we want to bless you with a couple of songs talking about religion songs, spiritual songs. It always brings us back what was happening in those days, and we remember our forefathers. So every time they were going to the troubles and crying to the Lord to help them and to rescue them from the trouble. So that's their spiritual religion songs. And I want to sing tonight.
Sometimes I feel like my origin. 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 Madoreja. You know, sometimes I feel like Madoreja. Sometimes I feel like Madoreja. Oh, long way from home. Long way from home. True believer, long way from home. Long way from home. Sing, my brother.
Sometimes I feel like almost gone. Sometimes I feel like almost gone. Sometimes I feel like almost gone. Sometimes I feel like almost gone.
Long way from home. Long way from home. Where to believe it or not? Long way from home. Long way.
Lord,
Thank you. You know, for a moment, I thought I was back home in Mississippi or Georgia or Alabama. Can we please show a grateful African round of applause? I'm telling you, God bless you. That was so excellent. I thought of the five line boys from Alabama and all.
I know there's not a lot of people around, but I really appreciate everyone coming today and actually being with us in this program. And for Sandji, it means a lot. We are actually trying to build our second school in West Africa, as you all know. And it really is something that I am proud to actually be here today. And I'm glad that I also met Doso. I actually met him at the gym. And I always think that God does things for a reason. And that's what I felt when I met him and he told me about this program. And as soon as he told me, I immediately said, yes, I'll join, I'll help you out, and I want this, even for my own self. I want to help out other people. So I am grateful that all of you are here, that you are helping out with just a little bit. You're doing something great. And well, again, thank you everyone. There is people that they donated the food. Iberia, ports of Spain also donated the food, and as well some desserts that were also donated. There were cards on the tables as well. So I do want to thank that. There was also the photographer outside. His name is Cesar Roman. He was also helping out all of us today. And the pictures, actually, I'm going to upload them on the Sandji website. So if you want to download them, take them, you can just go on the website and, well, on the website and on the Facebook and just like it and help us out as well, okay? And thank you. And actually, the applause is for you guys because you are helping a lot. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want to just take a couple of moments. I'm not going to take a lot of time tonight. But I want to first thank Doso for having the heart to commit to something outside of himself, because I think that that's what it takes. So let's give him a round of applause for having the willingness and the heart to do something else. There's a brother that wrote a book. His name is Derek Bell. And Derek Bell wrote a book called Ethical Ambitions. And in Ethical Ambitions, Derek Bell said something to us. He said that if you're going to do something that's going to change the world, he says that you have, let me take a step back. He raised a question for us, and the question said, how do I maintain my integrity while seeking success? How do I maintain my integrity while seeking success? Now, he said that there's a couple of things that you got to do that. The first one, he says that you have to have passion about whatever it is that you do. So in other words, what is the driving force for us to do anything? Why did you get up in the morning? Why did you come here today? Why do you go to work every day? What is the reasons why, and what is the things that says to you in your gut, in your heart, and in your head that you're going to get up tomorrow to do something different than what you did today? That you're going to make a change in the world in which we live. So that's that passion, that drive. He said, though, you got to have the ability to take risks. See, some of us want to skirt around things, and we want to find the way, the path that's the easiest. We're afraid to push the envelope. We're afraid to have someone tell us no. But in this story, he says to us that we've got to be willing to take risks to get the things that we say that we want. Because it's not enough to just say that you want something. You've got to do something to make it happen. I'll say that again. It's not enough just to say you want something. You've got to do something to make it happen. That is that if you do the same thing tomorrow as you did today, Dosso said tomorrow's a new day. If he came back tomorrow doing the same thing that he did yesterday, he can forget it. He might as well tell us to go home now. But if we're going to actually change the world in which we live, then that means that we've got to do something different with our time so that we're not doing the same thing, so we have a different outcome, right? And then the other thing it says that you have to have courage. What is your courage? Once you have passion about something, do you have the heart, the courage to actually manifest it? What do you do when you face resistance? We went to Malcolm X's gravesite on Thursday. Malcolm X's birthday was on Thursday. And you think about it, Malcolm X was a young man who died to transform the world, made it possible for many of my brothers and sisters who are recent immigrants to come to the United States. And some people don't realize that you're able to come here because of the sacrifices of a Malcolm X and a Martin Luther King and a Rosa Parks. That you wouldn't be able to, if you look back in the 60s and 70s, there wasn't a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, recent migrants from the continent or from the islands in the United States. That you're able to come today easily is because Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, all these folks made sacrifices. What are the sacrifices that you're willing to make? They had courage. What is the courage that you're willing to do something to change the world in which you live? So those are the things that we have to have. And then the next thing he said, which is probably the most important, he says that when you're thinking about the idea of the integrity, your integrity and seeking success, is that you have to define what success is. And that your definition of success cannot be based on you. That your definition of success has to be a selfless definition, idea of success. That is, if you only think about success in the context of yourself, then once again, we might as well leave before we begin. Let's pack everything up and go home. Because if your idea of success is only about you, then you can get your millions. There's a whole bunch of us in the community, on the continent, in the islands, here in the United States, who got millions of dollars. A lot of folks with millions. But what does it mean if they're not using it to transform the spaces in which they live? What does it mean if they're not willing to see that their millions? It means that they got 4 or 5 cars, a whole bunch of jewelry, they got 2 or 3 or 4 houses, and they're worried about going downtown Newark because they're going to get robbed. Why? Because they're not willing to put forth the effort to bring about the change so that the other brothers and sisters in downtown Newark don't have to live in that kind of situation. See, that we have to have a collective idea about things, and it's not, you didn't get where you are just because you're smart. I mean, most of us are smart, right? I think a doctorate, but to me, from an Ivy League institution, but so what? What is it that I'm willing to do to risk things, what is it that I'm willing to do to change the realities? When I got hired at Essex County College, one of the people who interviewed me, it was funny to me because they said to me, you have a PhD from an Ivy League institution. Why are you coming to little old Essex County College? And I thought that was, on one level I thought it was funny, on another level I thought it was sad. Because the reality is that they didn't realize that we need folks who have advanced education from the top schools right here in the community. This is a HBCU, as far as I'm concerned, right? Essex County College is 51% students of African descent. So you have students from the continent, Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Kenya. We have students from all over the place. And then we got students from the islands, from Jamaica and Trinidad and Barbados and from Guyanese, from South America, folks from all over the place, and then Africans from the United States, Africans from Canada, Africans from Europe, and then we got 25%, 26% now of Latino students. Not too many places like Essex County College around. So we need the best trained people to train our folks. We need to develop a collective plan. We were just talking about this. We need to develop a collective plan. Other folks develop plans so that they can change the world and continue to run and control the world. What plan are we making? We've got to develop our own plan so that we are not worried about just us as individuals, because your Benz is nice, okay, good. But what can you do beyond your Benz? What can you do beyond your 3 or 4 houses? What can we do to change the world in such a way that it is fundamentally never the same tomorrow as it is today? What can we do to make sure that we uplift folks, not just in Côte d'Ivoire, but in all the places that we reside? That if we were thinking about this collectively and we developed a collective strategy, that we could create a space, we could create a reality that brothers and sisters would find success in a multitude of ways and fashions. That is, that when we look at the possibility of success, that as Derek Bell says to us, he says, once again, if you think about your idea of integrity, that your integrity, so you yourself, what do you are willing to give up? What are you willing to see as something that you gave something to someone that transformed their reality? And I think that what he's saying to us in the end is that we have the power to do that. And if we realize that we have the agency and the power, the only thing left is the will. What is your will? Right? So we have a lot of politicians who get in office, but what is their will? Are they willing to sacrifice? Do they have the courage? Are they willing to take risks? Do they see their drive and passion? Do they see that outside of themselves, or they only see it within inside themselves? And I hope that today, that from this day forward, that we see success that's bigger than ourselves. We see success outside of ourselves, and that we're willing to make the sacrifice to bring about the change. As Doso and I ran for office at the same time. So we both had the compassion, the drive to make sure that if something happens that brings about change, that's not just about us as individuals, but that we're willing to take the risk to bring about change and to go against the grain. But if you're going against the grain, you have to realize that there's risks that you do take. And so then, who are the people that are willing to protect those who are willing to take risks? I was speaking at the Malcolm, I didn't speak, I was at the Malcolm X Memorial, and there was somebody who was in prison, Sundiata Akola, served in prison for over 30 years. He was a political prisoner, very similar to Mandela, Nelson Mandela. Served 30 years. There's political prisoners that were here in the United States that served, that made it possible for us to walk these spaces, because they were on the front lines and they did things to make it possible for us, but they're still in prison today. 20, 30, 40 years, and many of them in solitary confinement the entire time. Can you imagine that? So that we're free? So that we don't have to have a separate but equal, so that we don't have to sit on the back of the bus, so that we don't have to do the things that we think are the things that brought about that reality. So the whole push for Sandji is to bring about the possibility of education. And to do that, we have to do something that pushes us to the limit, like Derek Bell says. We want to find out that we're going to help with Sandji and organizations like it. Today we're here to help Sandji, that we have to find out within us that drive, that force, that passion. What is your passion? We need to veggie back, I don't use pork, so veggie back with Dosa, to find out what is that driving force. What is our passion? And we need to have our passions work together to bring about synergy so that we have the force that works with us, so that other folks who have their forces that work with them to create the things that they want to create, that we can create the things that we want and need to create. So that's about all I'm going to say. I just want us to say that the idea of education is important, and the idea of and the value, as Brother Doso already said, of education for young folks and dealing with the idea, thinking about the idea of civil war, is that not only civil war, but other types of conflict, the more we educate folks, the more we transform the world in which we live. The more we educate folks, the other part of the education, not the formal education, but the education that goes on through networks, the education that goes on through our collective work together, so that we know that we have the collective ability to transform the world. And with that said, I say thank you very much, and I wish you all a good night.
Ici. Que vous avez découvert Ivoire TV.